Hi, everyone. This is Kerristen, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Relocate Podcast. Make sure you tune in as there are new episodes every Wednesday available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. All right. So today we have Alieshia. She is from Louisville, Kentucky. She also resided in a few other places within the U.S. I'm looking at my list here: New York, Virginia, and Washington. We're gonna talk a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about that. And
In Georgia.
she recently she lived in Georgia, but guess what, y'all? She left and she moved back to Louisville.
Sure did. Sure did. Sure
That's
did.
what I want to get into. But
Yes.
before we dive into the conversation, a little bit more about Alieshia. She has 3 podcasts, y'all. She is quite the creative. She is a co-host of the Black Girls Den podcast. Uh, you may not see her pillow if you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but she has a cute little pillow.
Yes.
Black
The Black
Girls
Girls
Den
Den.
podcast. She also has the Millennial Thoughts podcast, and she has a travel podcast called Bon Voyage. Did I say that
Mm-hmm.
correctly? Bon Voyage.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I have all her information in the description of this episode. So y'all know the drill. I'm just gonna spill it again for the newbies, the people who are new to this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, girl. So you are from Louisville, Kentucky. You're my first guest from Kentucky.
Yes.
And
Not technically from Louisville though. I'm from Iowa. I moved to Kentucky in high school, and then I just kind of went to high school and college in Kentucky. Then I went to Georgia, and then I moved back to Kentucky. So I just say like I reside in Kentucky, but then I don't even know if I'm really from Iowa anymore, anyways, because like I don't even go back to Iowa. So I'm
yeah.
just out here. I'm about to call myself a nomad in the U.S.
You know what? Let's get into that because honestly, like once you move around quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
that question gets complex of where
Mm-hmm.
you from. I mean,
Yes,
home
it
is
does.
really what you make it anyways.
I'm a military child, so I grew
Gotcha.
up moving around a lot. So that's why I lived in New York, Washington, Iowa. Like I moved around a lot. So it's really nothing to me to move. But as I get older, it is harder to build community and different things like that. So I'm not really scared to move and like uproot myself to places. That's not really it. I just hated Atlanta so much that I moved back to Louisville. Now, do I want to stay in Louisville? Not necessarily, unless I start a business or something like that, because there's not much here to do, to be quite honest. There's not that much money here that I see, unless you're like a business owner. Are you working like the healthcare field? And I think that that's something that people need to think about when they do relocate to places. I moved to Atlanta because there was more opportunities in my field, yeah, but there's so many people going to chase that dream. But you got to really know where the money is at and what your field you are striving to go to. So I feel like what I'm trying to do, unless I do entrepreneurship here, I feel like there's not money in what I want to do here. So yeah, I can meet people at school, I can see people, but like people aren't doing the things that I want to do necessarily. I don't want to say that, but it's like there's not things that I want to do here. Like I just don't want to go to bars every weekend, and like that's what Louisville is like. Bars, there's festivals. I don't listen to the music festivals. There's I don't know, like different, I guess bourbon tours, like bourbon and derby, but it's like, do I want to do that every year? Do I want to do it all the time? No. So I feel like it just depends on kind of what you want to do and where you're at. But I don't feel like I'm gonna be in Louisville for long term. I feel like I'm just gonna be in Louisville for right now for a couple of years to figure out where my next city is.
Yeah. Okay. I get now. When we kind of talked a little offline a bit, and I did learn a little bit more about where you see yourself within the next few years. We talked about Austin
Yes, we
a
did.
bit. So, what drew you to Austin?
I feel like, as you know, I'm a creative already. Louisville is a kind of very creative city. I also feel that Austin is like a bigger Louisville in certain sense. Like it's still like a college town. Like there's a whole bunch of colleges there. There's still things that you can do. And I'm a person that like, I'm sorry, this might sound wrong, but like I need to be able to go places that you can go for free. Like there needs to be free things in the city. Like there was nothing free to do in Atlanta. And I'm sorry, but when I went to Austin, it might be really expensive, but like going to 6th Street, that was free. You could bar hop, you could go to do things. Like it was easy to find parking. For me, hey, I found some murals, I found parking. It was an easy thing to do. Like I'm also into film. I do like TV. I like media. Austin has like Southwest by Southwest. So it has a lot of creatives there. They have tech there. I'm into tech. That's like my day job. So it's like there's a lot of different things that I could see that I could have opportunities there to be. Now I know the culture part is lacking a little bit. That's what I hear. But when I went there, I was going to day parties for free. People were nice. It wasn't that hot, you know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of what attracted me to Austin. I was like, okay, like I went in Memorial Weekend and it was hardly any traffic. Now, I don't know. That could just be because the school was out because, we talked offline and it could be different. So when I went, I was like, this could kind of be like a cool city. Like you can kind of get around. You can go. I went to look at different colleges. I went to a museum. Like there was like a park and stuff like that. So I feel like I got like a little bit of everything when I went there. And I was like, okay, this is kind of something I can see. Like it's not too fast paced. It's a mid fast paced city. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what attracted me to it. And then I already knew about South by Southwest. I already knew that it was an independent film, like, spot out there. Like that's what they do. And so that's kind of what I heard it. Film, media, and tech. And it's kind of like space. And I heard that it's affordable if you're a single person, because child, I'm not married, I don't have two incomes. I heard that you can live on your own in that city too. So that's something also that like comes into account as navigating life as a single woman, like who's not married and trying to relocate and different things like that. So that's kind of what attracted me to Austin. Now, am I going to move there or not? I don't know, but that's the stuff that I kind of look for when I relocate.
Yeah. You know what? I appreciate people like you. Like you've done the research. You actually came here. You came to visit. You've probably heard from a lot of people about what it's like to live here. I know because we had a conversation about that. Like
Yeah.
I know that you really like did the work to like look for a place that would suit you, your dreams, the dreams that you're pursuing. I see you like you're always finding ways to like add a creative flair into your space, like on social media. You're doing a lot of great things. So
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah, you are. So I love the fact that you took your future and where you see yourself in the next few years into consideration as it pertains to what your next steps are. And I'm wondering too, like, what are some other places that you looked into, like other than Austin?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I take a step back because, as I said, I used to live in Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta growing up was like Atlanta. I never really even wanted to move to Atlanta. But it was a pandemic. I worked in media. I met this lady because I networked with her when she lived in Kentucky. She said she had a job. I was like, okay, cool. And so I didn't look at Atlanta. Like I was like, oh, it's expensive, but I'm coming from the Midwest. And then the South, you think it is more cheaper, but it's really not. Well, Atlanta wasn't. And so when I went to Atlanta, I was like, this is expensive. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing free. You can't walk, you can't park, like you can't do nothing. So it was just like, what am I doing here? Trying to make all this money or trying to make this money, can't do this, can't do that. It's like everything is like so expensive. And this was during COVID. So I feel like I learned from that, like, no, I want a walkable city. Like I don't want to have to be paying $40 to park, then to go into restaurants to pay more money to eat. That's crazy to me. Like that is literally like, I'm sorry, that's inhumane. I don't even know if I could even use that word, but that's inhumane to me. And Georgia's whatever it's called, like minimum wage was like $7.25. How do you see people living off of that? Like I just can't. So I'm still looking at other places, but I've thought about like Philly because I do media. I do like to travel and stuff like that. So I've thought about a couple of places, as in like I've thought about New York, but New York is really, really cold. So I'm really not trying to do cold, but I think about media. My top city is LA. I just know I have to have money to live in LA. And that's why I thought Austin, because it's like, okay, I'm on the West Coast, I'm close, so I'm thinking about that. I thought about Vegas because like I like music, and as like I do like to go out and do different things. Like I have a whole Black Girls Guide to Louisville, Kentucky, that I do on TikTok, and I share things that are going on in the city and stuff like that. So I like to go places that I do like media correspondence, and I was like, okay, like I like music. You can go to these music festivals, maybe I could do something like that. Like I want to go somewhere that's fun, that I can go and do things and just be outside a little bit. So I also thought about North Carolina, a little bit like Raleigh. It don't have the media for me, but it has like the tech. And so I'm also thinking about tech. So I know Austin is getting expensive, but I know Apple is going to Austin, I think. Are they going to Raleigh? Like I know that, or maybe it's not Apple or Amazon. Like I know, like I kind of look to see where the tech cities are going, or like where the tech companies are going.
Gotcha.
So I take that into an account. So I'm like, okay, do I want to go to Raleigh? Do I want to go to Austin? Do I want to go to Vegas? It is all overwhelming, and that's where I have not made my next move yet. So yeah, so those are some of the cities that I thought about. I've even thought about Huntsville, Alabama, because I know it's tech and I know it's like a lower cost of living kind of, but I'm like, what's the media out there? So I'm trying to find a spot where I can get all three in one. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Within the U.S. only.
Oh, because I'm actually open to outside of the U.S. too.
Yeah.
But if I'm outside of the U.S., I have to think of a different approach. Like if I'm outside of the U.S., I'm thinking of where's some water at? Where can I get the most bang for my buck? Like I'm thinking like that. I'm not really thinking like media, tech, or whatever. I'm thinking about what job can I work remotely and move out of here, save some money, and live my best and travel everywhere. So I feel like that's the hard part. I have like two different goals and desires. If I stay in America, I'm gonna be like, where do I get media, tech? But if I go out the country, where can I have a good expat community? Where can I spend most of my money? Where is it going to be able to stretch more? And then is it by some water? Do I want to go to the Caribbean? Do I want to go to Mexico? Do I want to go to Thailand? And I watch videos. I do a lot of research. Like I listen to videos about Thailand. I've listened to videos a little bit about Bali, but a lot about Mexico, the Caribbean a little bit, but they talk about South America, Cartagena. So I'm kind of open, but I feel like that dream is kind of dwindling, because if I don't want to be a teacher, I'm like, what else can I do? Then I have to be an entrepreneur. Then I got to figure that out. So I feel like that's a little harder to digest. But I have actually thought about Tulsa, because Tulsa does a Tulsa remote program. If nobody knows, I know a couple of people who did the Tulsa remote program. Of course, I have to have a job, right? A remote job, but they pay you up to $10,000, and it's reimbursement actually. So y'all got to read the rules and regulations, but they pay you reimbursement to help you move to like get their city up and thriving like with the economy. So I've even thought about that, like that could be a cool experience, right? I have no kids. I'm not married. So I'm just like, I want to be able to do all the experiences that I can before I have to like really settle down. I don't even really like that word, but like settle and kind of like, have a more consistent schedule or something like that, or setup.
By the way, few things. I did have a guest. Her name is Tanisha. She is a part of the Toast Remote program. I should connect you with her. Like
Oh yes.
She did an event with them recently, but she went through the whole process, relocated from New York, which is interesting.
She want a slower life.
She wanted to slow her life, but she's a lot like you. Like she's very vocal on social media. She does a lot of like speaking engagement. I think maybe that's something you should. I don't know if you looked into maybe being a motivational speaker, public speaker. I just gonna throw that out there.
I really haven't. I don't know. I feel like you gotta be a thought leader and something. So I thought about it, but I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really pitched myself out to speak that much. But that is actually why I'm doing this podcast episode, because I'm like, I do want to kind of get on podcasts, because I'm always interviewing people. I'm always talking about my podcast. But I'm like, let me get on other people's podcasts and like talk and share my experience, because I have relocated. I have traveled, So maybe this is helping me, think about speaking.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I think too, like your what you have going on kind of speaks for itself when it comes to what you're building for your future. So, let's say your goal was to leave the US, like, do something like that, or even like not even leave the US, but more so walk into like that the dreams that you have for your future. Um, you are already doing more than what 99% of the population can do. Like and you've been like very disciplined with it for a, quite a long time. I think
I
that
appreciate that.
you can really do whatever it is that you have your heart set on. And just listening to other people's stories, like on this podcast, and they have like similar stories to you, like you can really do whatever it is that you want to do. You want to come to Austin, girl? Come to Austin. There's so many creatives here, but the market's not saturated. It's not
I feel like it's
saturated here.
hard though, because I feel like I have been doing it for a long time, but I haven't really got to my peak yet. So I feel like that's where I'm kind of stuck at. Like, do I still want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Because it's just like I haven't hit my peak yet with it. So it's so hard. But thank you. I appreciate it because I have been doing this a long time. Even before podcasting was even popular. Like, it's crazy to me. And I get so sad about it. So I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
But
you just gotta keep going. Like I see you. I've just met you not too long ago, but I've been, looking at your social media and, checking out what you already have out there. Like you already have a digital portfolio that's gonna be telling, when you decide like, hey, let's kick this up a gear. How far can I go with it? Can I go out the country with it? Or can I go out the state with it? Yes. Can I go out the country with it? Yes. Can I go out the whole entire continent with it?
Okay.
Like,
can we go to the moon? Can we go to space?
All right.
That would be so scary.
Look, aren't they doing something on the moon right now? I feel like I heard something about Nokia, one of those tech companies trying to put Wi-Fi on the moon. So, you already got a digital platform. It's only right. Go to the moon.
Hey, that'd be a little scary, but I'd be like, all right, literally to the moon. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so that's kind of where I've been thinking about relocating and stuff like that. And that's just, kind of my journey with it. But I think that when I think about relocating and stuff like that, I think things that I have thought about as well as like, even, I talked to you, but even when I moved to Atlanta, like I did talk to a lot of people. And the reason why I wanted to move to Atlanta, because it was like, I want to do media, I want to do podcasting, but it's like, you really have to think about cost of living. You have to think about healthcare, how much your money is going to stretch or whatever you're going to do with that. And I don't think that's like, something that people think about. And so I feel like it's kind of hard to navigate that. And even as a millennial, you didn't really see your parents move unless they had certain type of jobs. But like I said, my dad was in the military, so I moved, but his job necessarily didn't change. It was the military. But growing up, you see people like move one time. They don't always move. They don't always move for jobs. And I feel like this new generation, they actually move for jobs. Like you see people moving to New York, Mexico, like they're just moving for jobs wherever. People are relocating them. And actually, that's even how I got back to Louisville. My job actually paid for my relocation job. And I don't even work there no more. No, yeah. So it's like, it is happening now. And I'm not trying to like plug my podcast or not, but I just felt like it wasn't really talked about before. So I'm actually glad that you had this platform, because I did a whole relocation season on my Millennial Thoughts podcast, like in 2022 or 2022, 2023. And I interview people. I interview like 10 people, because I'm like, they were moving, either they were like, people get married, people move after college and stuff like that. And I'm like, where are these conversations at? That like, what did you do? Did you ask for relocation? Did you move because you're going to grad school? Did you move because you got into a doctorate program? So I feel like that was kind of lacking. So when I seen this podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is so cool, because it's like people do relocate. We're single. We are not married. We don't have kids. Like we are not stuck to one city. And also I think that's good too. Like people say like, oh, get out your hometown. Like you don't have to get out your hometown, but it is also cool to like get out your hometown and reinvent yourself. And that's really what people do. And that is literally like a growth thing too. Like you get to reinvent yourself. You get to do whatever you want to do. You can always come back. Like I said, I came back too. I didn't like it. And also I was nervous to come back because I was like, you're going to hate like Louisville. You're going to hate it. Like stay in Atlanta, do this. But it's like, also I have nothing to prove to anybody. If you go to that city and you don't like it, check the deuces. Nobody is telling me to stay there. No, I have nothing there. Nothing nowhere. Like so I said, I'm a nomad. Nothing is keeping me and holding me back. A job don't need to keep you there, because if you hate your job, just find another job somewhere else. It's definitely harder than, set. But in general, it's just like, if you go to that city and you like it, or if you don't like it, find another city to go to. So that's just me. And that's what I did. That's why I'm like, I don't really care to be in Louisville, so I will move again. But now this time I'm going to be a little bit more strategic, because maybe I do want to kind of set roots in it. But it's also like kind of like what you said, what's going to get me to my next. I can move to Austin. I can love it or I can hate it. But if I'm there for a year or two, that's fine. If I want to move somewhere else after that, I'll move somewhere else. If I love it, I'll stay. So that's how I think about it.
And you can't even tell that you even had an inkling of a thought about wanting to move out of Louisville. Because you do, I've seen like as of lately, you've been hosting events.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to get into that a bit, because then people typically feel like, they're not feeling like living in a certain place. Their feelings kind of go the opposite way. Depression, or like kind of wanting to be close to the world a bit, trying to figure out their next steps, but not being like open to really doing some of the things that you've been doing. So like, what is keeping you like going? Where's
Like in
where's that
Louisville?
energy coming from? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because I don't hate Louisville. I just think that it's not a place that I can grow right now. But I think because my family is here, like over the weekend, my brother just premiered. He's a writer. He just premiered a TV series. My brother is here, my family. So it's like Louisville will always kind of be like a second home. And now that I can make roots here, it's kind of like I'm expanding myself. So like I said, I have the Black Girls Guide. So I have events. I have a podcast, Millennial Thoughts. I really wanted to focus on engagement, and knowing that I might be here for a year or two, I want to be able to like put my name out as much as I can with Black Girls Den, with Millennial Thoughts podcast, because I still feel like I have a lot of ideas going on, whatever. So like if I become an entrepreneur, like say I own a business before I leave, I still want my name to be here, because I know about trends. I know that the filming industry is coming here. I know that in a couple of years it's going to get bigger. Like media is going to get bigger. Like people are shooting stuff. People are filming here. So I don't want to like not miss the market per se. So it's like I still want to be able to network. Like I network at heart. I go to events. I meet people. So that's me at the core. It's like I like meeting people. I like hosting events. I host events at my house and stuff like that. And I want to build community where I'm at. Even in Atlanta, I did it a little bit, but it was really harder. So I'm a person that wants to build community, because I know that like people come here. This city is really good at doing stuff for families and like schools and communities, like if you have kids, but it's like, what do the single people do? And so I felt like that was a need for me to see, like single peoples do what? Okay, single mixers. Okay, go to the bar. But it's like, where do we meet up as single people to do something? And so I kind of wanted to hold that space. I have a whole bunch of ideas to do for single people in the city, but it's kind of like I have to make myself be known, and I have to have a name. And no, so then I think that if I could build myself up in Louisville, right? How you're saying that I can move out the state, I could still have this in Kentucky and still be in Austin. And guess what? I'm bi-coastal now. So that's kind of what has kept me to kind of keep going. And if they see like, oh, I did this in Louisville, I did this in Austin. Okay, boom, I could go to another city and do this, whatever. So it's just me as like me in my heart. Like that's kind of who I am. I like events. I like networking. I like going to do these things. And I just heard something that's like, do something where you're at. And like, not that I'm rooted here, but I'm planted here. So I'm like, do something here right now. I want to do it. And I have the resources because I also went to school here. I do know people here a little bit, and I can get the word around. And it's a small city, so people know you. by knowing other people, but it's also kind of a negative thing too, because I do know people from school and stuff like that. And it's like who you know around here. So I feel like that's kind of why I kind of just like planted a little bit of stuff here, and so that people can see me. So that at the end of the day, I can promote whatever I want to promote. I want you to watch my Black Girls In podcast. I want you to come on my podcast for Millennial Thoughts. I want like so that you can see like I'm really doing this media thing, and that you can see I'm out here. I'm bringing awareness to myself. And then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I know Alieshia. I'll listen to her content. I'll watch her content. I went to an event. Someone's like, I seen your content. I seen your video that you did. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like people, I went to another booth, like a women's event. She's like, I follow you on Instagram. I'm like, you do? She's like, yeah, I follow the Black Girls In podcast. And she ended up giving me 2 tickets to her event. I was like, oh, thank you. Like half off. So I feel like that, like stuff like that kind of like keeps me going with it.
Thank you. Thank you
That
for
was
that.
a long answer, I know.
No, that was
sorry.
That was good. That was good because I'm sure that's going to resonate with a lot of people, as it is definitely resonating with me. I kind of wish I met you like a long time ago, actually.
That's so sweet.
You could have, yeah, we could have definitely been connecting while I was in Houston. I think, yeah, Houston's a great city too for creatives, but I wasn't thinking about I was like, I had the thought of this podcast in like the very back of my mind, but yeah, I didn't pursue it. But yeah, here we are today.
Houston is hard too. I know. I was like, I'll never met you if you didn't start your podcast. So look at that.
Yeah.
But Houston is hard too. People love Houston down. And so I'm not hating on Houston, but baby, Houston is hot. Okay. I went to Houston. Houston is hot. And Houston is overpopulated. I guess if it's a tourist, like you go to events, they try to charge you nickel and dime you. This is my thing. I think Houston is a smaller Atlanta or like a bigger Atlanta, whichever one you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. 3-hour wait lines for some food, child, miss me with that. Long lines to party and stuff like that. But also like what I was saying with moving and stuff like that, I have to know that Houston is not good at media. Houston is not a media city. Houston is a turn up, let's go out city. They have jobs, let's party city. So also knowing that, and I know that a couple of people who came from Houston, they moved to Atlanta because Houston is not a good city for media. So you also have to know that when you move as well too. It could get better, but it's not like that. And so I also visited Charlotte, but I didn't really care for Charlotte. I think Charlotte is like a smaller Dallas. If you ever been to any one of those. Dallas is business, business, business. Dallas is hot too, child. And I have my own theory why Texas is so hot, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. But Charlotte is like on top of each other. But Charlotte only has like game yards and gaming things. I mean, like they have like a little taco festival thing too. But I think about stuff like that when I go to these different cities. And so I don't compare them, but I just think that those are like people are like Dallas and Houston and Charlotte and Austin. So that's why I compare those. I don't compare every city like that. But I think that if you're looking for like something similar or something like that, you should go to that. Like some people love Chicago, some people hate Chicago. It could be cold. But I think that is what it is. And even in Atlanta, I actually tried to start a podcast with some creative people, but it was so much going on that I couldn't even start it with the people. So I actually tried to start 2 podcasts, but that's when I started my travel podcast was in Atlanta with this one girl. Then I ended up moving and I tried to start a different podcast with another, like 2 other people. That didn't work either, you know? So it's kind of like, okay, like you get with people, you try to do it and then it don't work because, you know, some people flake or they say they want to do it and they don't do it. So that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're creative and you want to do it, you know, you just kind of got to step out and do it and figure it out as what I'm doing now, practicing what I'm preaching.
Let's get into that a little bit more because you said earlier that you consider yourself as a domestic nomad. Like you've traveled to.
I like that.
Yeah, you've been a domestic nomad. You've been to many cities. You've lived in multiple states, and you've had that creative flair throughout your journey. So, what are some places that influenced or inspired your work the most?
When I think about it, I feel like Atlanta did spark my creativity. There was so much going on. There was so much to do. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. This is cool. That's cool. I like Miami. I do like Miami. I had 2 different experiences when I went there, but I love Miami, I should say. I like Philly. People don't really like Philly, but I like Philly. I love it when you can like walk by the tower and then there's like flags going down. It's like a
Oh yeah.
flag. Yeah, it's like a flag country. And I'm like, I want to have a flag wall. So like one day in my, house, I'm gonna have a flag walls. And actually every place I travel outside of the country, I get a flag. So I can have a flag of countries on my wall one day. That's just a little tidbit that I do. I think that New Orleans is kind of like I wouldn't say it sparked my creativity, but I like the city. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. And it's like, okay, like you get this idea, you get that idea. When like stuff is going on or different things like having, like it's very cultural. And I like culture. I really like culture when I go to places and things to see what's going on. So I would say those would probably be like the main ones that I
Gotcha.
feel.
Have there been certain cities that you once looked into, but then realized, this is not for me?
Oh yes, Charlotte was a no for
Like
me.
other than Charlotte, is
Oh
that
yeah,
like the
okay.
only one?
Charlotte was a no for me. I went to Denver, so I have a goal to do like 30 states before 30. I visited
Oh,
Denver. Denver was okay to me. It was a lot. It's big. There's a lot going on. I feel like, so I don't know. I don't think that would have been for me. I actually thought about Memphis too, but I thought about Memphis for a different reason. I thought about Memphis because I was thinking of low cost of living and getting out of Atlanta, child. I was like, ooh, okay.
that's very
Yeah, and then
understandable.
but then I was like, what's their money like? So then I had to go. I actually really like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a little bit of a media city. It has music, it has culture, but it's like kind of what the progression is. I thought about Nashville, but I said no to Nashville. One, Nashville's getting so big and so like so much construction. I thought about it. If I could get a good job, yes, maybe. But Nashville doesn't really like attract me. I think it might be cool for like a weekend trip because I did do it and I did like a Black history tour and stuff like that. But I looked around because in Louisville, it's a central location. So this is my comparison. So Louisville, I can get to Chicago in like 4 hours. I can get to St. Louis in 4 hours. I can get to Birmingham in like 5 hours or 4.5 hours, right? I can get to Chattanooga, stuff like that. So I'm used to that. And I'm like, as I'm getting older, like, you might want to drive. Planes are expensive, child, and that's a whole nother story. So when I looked at Nashville, I was like, what cities are surrounding it that I could go to in a couple of days? I don't really want to go to Atlanta. That's 4 hours. That's like I've been to Atlanta. Like I don't have to go to Atlanta, but it was like only Atlanta, maybe Birmingham or Alabama, and it was just like, yeah, it's not really giving. So that's why Nashville isn't really high on the list for me. I thought about New York, but like I said earlier, it's kind of cold. DC is kind of on the list, but I have to go visit it again. So, like in the summertime or something like that, I have to visit again. What other city did I say no to? I think that is it. Oh, Chicago. People are like, you should move to Chicago. I'm like, Chicago's cold and expensive. So I don't know about that one.
I know that San Diego is probably costly too, but I've seen a lot of people, especially creators, relocate there.
And I've
Has
never been to San Diego.
I've
So I
never
have to
been
visit
either.
it. Yeah, oh maybe we should go. Yeah, I haven't been to San Diego, so that's why I don't know. But I know they have pretty beaches, right? I
Yeah,
think so. And I did hear it was expensive too. So I try not to think about California too much until I'm a millionaire, okay?
I've been meeting a lot more people from LA and from San Diego actually who relocated to Austin. So just
Mm-hmm.
never thought
Yeah,
Franco
that's why I need to
in
hurry up
there.
and move before they start raising the rent.
Ooh, let me knock on some wood. I live
Yeah,
here.
okay, baby, let me hurry up before they raise the rent, child. Because that's what happened to Atlanta. Everybody came from California and New York, and the rent spiked up, and they can't. It's over capacity. So that's the issue.
And
That's what's
Atlanta
nerve
was
wracking
not built for
for
the
all the
influx of
people.
people.
That's
They
why people
can't
are
even.
leaving.
Yeah, what's that interstate that cuts in between like the city downtown? It's 75, 85.
285. Oh yeah. 75, 85. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
It's so
know
much
what they could
traffic.
possibly do to widen that road. There's
I had
nothing.
to move to I had to move. I was like, I had to be on the 285 side, child, because baby, that traffic, it was crazy. It was so much traffic. But I don't even think that bothered me because I just knew that there was a lot of people there. That didn't even bother me that it was traffic. What bothered me was just how they try to like nickel and dime everything. They try to already put the gratuity on there. I gotta pay to park to go somewhere. It was just too much. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then they have 600 square feet apartments talking about some $1,500. Where is the apartment in the room with us, child? Where is the room? Where is the square feet? I'm confused. So I just was like, that's not for me. But I feel like if you got a man, a woman, like if you got two incomes, you could do it. You could deal with Atlanta, child. Me,
I hear that.
yeah, I can't deal with it.
Yeah. Man, I was just thinking, I lived in Atlanta back in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
and my one bed, one bath, I want to say it was about 700 square feet,
Hmm.
maybe $450
Yeah,
back in
you
the
never
day.
seen that again.
I miss that.
Yeah,
Good old
never.
days. Yeah.
Nothing. And it'd be the hood, and it'd be horrible apartments. And these apartment complexes, that's why I really think about going to law school so I could sue all of them. Let me get up. Let me stop. Because, baby, let me get into law school and I can start suing these apartment complex. I'm getting everybody their money back. Because it's crazy. They don't care. They don't be helping. And corporate just be like, oh yeah. Like what? It's really irritating actually. So I don't even want to get on a soapbox about it. But these people don't care. I be like, this is people's livelihoods. Like if you work in this industry, like you need to care. Because if it was your apartment, you would want heat. You would
Yeah.
want your stuff fixed. I'm like, where is the care in now? And also these apartment complexes want to charge, say you got to make 3 times the rent. Is your employees making 3 times? Can they afford this apartment that they working in? Get out of here. So that's my TED talk about that.
How long were you in Atlanta, by the way?
I moved in like July 2020 and I left February 2023. So almost 3 years, not really 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
What was so we got an idea of like what the experience was like before you left, but when you, let's say like the first year or so, dang, that was during COVID. Like your
Yeah, it
experience
was COVID.
was probably a lot different than what it could have been had COVID not existed.
Yeah, and I think that was a big issue too. Like COVID was there, but baby, they was outside though. I
Yeah.
feel like my first year was hard because I ended up getting 2 jobs. So I really was like working my 2 jobs, but I was enjoying it a little bit, but I was like, this just can't be. So like I was driving and I was enjoying it, but something happened and I actually got let go from my media job in December. And
Mm,
that's when everything
okay.
kind of went downhill. That's a whole nother conversation. But so then I had to like scramble because you don't think somebody that you know is going to let you go. And I had to kind of scramble for another job. So then I was working with kids and teaching and stuff like that. That's not really what I went down there for. And I had to drive like 45 minutes every day to go to work. So I had to let those 2 jobs go. Then I went to get one job, but I had to drive, on that interstate every day. And then I was like, okay, this is cool, but like this is not what I want to do. And of course, like you get paid, but you don't get paid that much or whatever. And so it's like, okay, so I just got let go of like one of the dream jobs that I wanted to do. Now I'm teaching. But mind you, that was just a like after the summer or whatever, like it's school, so you have to find another job. So then I found another job. I had to find another job. So that was like 4 different jobs in like less than a year, So then I had to get a
Yeah.
that job. And then I liked my job at first, but then I didn't like my job. So then that went downhill. So I'm not liking my job. So that's affecting my daily routine. I didn't work 2 jobs, but I was like, I didn't like my job after a while. Like it was draining. I was an academic advisor. It was draining, but I did academic advising. And I feel like I could not find another job for the life of me. And there was no growth opportunities at that job. So I was like stuck. Leave and try to do something else. And that's kind of how I transitioned into like wanting to do ed tech, like how we talked about offline. Leave or get somewhere because like they tried to, so I was trying to like apply for a higher job, but they wasn't trying to give no more money. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna not get no more money and get a higher, like, do more work, right? So I was like, I'm not getting a job. There's so much competition. What am I doing? I'm applying. I'm not getting nowhere. I'm like, at this point, I'm hitting a dead end. Like, I hated doing academic advising. I was over it so much. I did it for like a year or two, and I was trying to apply for jobs, but there's so much competition. There's so much happening. So I was like, okay, I have to make a decision. Like, I'm gonna have to move. So to be honest, I didn't even want to move back to Louisville because everybody was like, don't move back. But I applied to jobs, I think, in Texas. I looked for jobs in Texas. I looked for jobs in California. I even looked for jobs in Charlotte and North Carolina. Like, I was applying for every job. Like, I was applying everywhere in California, and I was not getting anything. They're like, do your resume, do this. So it's like, okay. Then over Christmas break or something like that, my dad told me like this school was hiring in Louisville. So I applied for it. It was a technology role. And I said I wanted to be in tech. Now I will say, like, when I say like I want to be in something, like, it kind of be working out for real. Okay. It be kind of working out. So I was like, I want to be in technology. I want to do something different. So I applied for that role. I got it. Then I moved back here. And they pay for my relocation fees to come back up here. They paid for like my U-Haul and my car to transport it up here. I said, thank you so much. Put that up in there. And then I just moved back. And I started working in technology. And I was trying to get in tech the whole time when I was in Atlanta. It wasn't working. Yeah. So I was like, I had to move back to a smaller area. Now, 2 years later, I'm about to I just got accepted for a coding program. And my job that I'm in now, I can take the CompTIA, cybersecurity, like I can take all that stuff and I can get it for free. Where's that at that you can get this stuff for free, right? You can't get that stuff for free nowhere. So it's just like, I'm just trying to build and just figure out where I'm going next. And then when I get this stuff under my belt, then, we'll see where else I can go after this.
Okay, so we are in the Alieshia Masterclass.
Yeah.
For real. We are in the masterclass of landing the life that you want for yourself.
Well, thank you.
Period.
I hope so. I love that Alieshia Masterclass. Yeah, so
Yes.
we gonna see, okay?
And also for the people who are looking in tech for a career and you're looking at all of the typical tech hotspots, maybe you should look into Louisville or places that are the next hotspot, like not necessarily like the current hotspots too.
Now let me clear up. I don't think Louisville's a hotspot. I don't know if it's clear, but I will say that you kind of have to know your cities. Like I said, you have to know your cities. And being in Louisville, this is a community grant funded city. And that's why I said I can't make no money. But what I can do is take advantages of the grants and the community organizations that they have. So they have a program that helps you. Kentucky is an interesting, like I said, like we don't have no sports team, like whatever, like, they have healthcare and stuff like that, but they want people to have better digital literacy skills. They want people to be in tech so they can be able to get those jobs and high paying jobs. My role right now is I train people on digital literacy skills. Right now, I do that. That's what I do. But also knowing that I'm going to be a part of programs that can help me get to my next step. So they have a program that teaches you coding and Python and stuff like that. So it's a grant funded position. Now, mind you, I was on the wait list for 2 years. I was like, where is the wait list in the room with me, child? Am I on a wait list? I was over here emailing people and talking to people. But I literally just got the email like last week. And now I'm about to start in the cohort. So I will say that too. I think my friend was telling me she lived in Baltimore. I think that's another one. She said that Louisville reminds her. Baltimore, there's community outreach and organizations and grants and stuff like that. So it's like, you don't make your money here, but if it's grant funded and it has things for you to do, then you can go. And my brother actually was a part of the program. That's how I knew. And now he's a data analyst. He went through the program and he's a data analyst.
I love that.
And y'all, he making money because he got a bonus child that I said, baby, do I need to be a data analyst? Let me figure out some Power BI. Okay. But like, so you got to kind of know what city you are in. So that's why I was saying, like, it's not probably my forever home, but let me use what they have here. Let me get the resources. Let me figure that out so I can go to my next step.
I think I learned a lot about like Louisville. Learned a lot about Louisville today.
And now I know you got me thinking like, maybe I should go to masterclass. Like, figure out your next step. Use what you got, child. That's what I'm on. Use the resources that you have to figure out what your next thing is. But I would have never thought about that if I didn't move to Atlanta. So I was like, because I think about like, dang, did I waste my time moving to Atlanta? Did I waste my time? Because I'm like, now people are like, oh, you should move back to Atlanta because I do media and stuff like that. They're like, you shouldn't have left Atlanta. But I'm like, well, y'all want to struggle and sleep on people's couches. Sorry, child. That can't be my ministry. I'm sorry, baby. They love to be like, I slept on a couch. My car broke down. I was doing child. I'm sorry. That ain't my ministry. I need some health insurance and I need some benefits, child. That is not my ministry. Okay. I'm sorry. That's not for me. We just gonna figure it out. And guess what? Atlanta's not going nowhere. If I want to move back, I literally have people that I know still kind of or whatever. Like we're still connected on social media. If I wanted to move back though, I could move back. If I wanted to like still connect with those people, I probably still can't connect with those people. They still remember me. Like I was building community at the end of the day, but like Atlanta ain't going nowhere and I know LA ain't going nowhere. It's just gonna be more people. So at the end of the day, these cities are still gonna be there, but I have to make sure that I'm good in what I want to do so that I'm able to thrive how I want to thrive. And so that's why me taking a step back is just gonna be what it has to be. And that literally that's just a part of my story. I took a step back. I figured out what I wanted to do. And now when I'm ready and I have my money, I'm going to be blown off the charts.
Yeah.
That's what I hope so. That's in my mind, okay? We're going to see how it plays out.
Okay. Well, we are coming down to the wire. And I just want to thank you for your time. And thank you so much for being a part of this process. But before I let you go, I'm going to ask you one last question that I ask everybody on this podcast, right? Because you have like quite a story and you have a lot that people can resonate with. So now that you've relocated, what words of advice would you provide to the version of yourself that was in Atlanta?
Trust your gut and do what's best for you.
Love it. Trust your gut because there's no regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets at all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Because someone's like, do I regret moving? Do I not regret? Trust your gut. Do what's best for you. You had to leave. If you gotta leave, you gotta leave. Trust your gut. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yep. And this would be a whole different conversation if you would have never went.
Yeah. I wouldn't have no relocation story.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best. We as in me and your internet cousins who are tuning in.
Yes.
We wish you nothing but the best. Y'all make sure y'all connect. Check out the description of this episode. Make sure you connect with Alieshia. Make sure that you tune in to her content. She has different content for different topics, y'all. So if you're into travel, if you want to reach out to her and learn a little bit more about her life as a millennial, got plenty of footage and information to look back on to learn more about her, through her podcast journey, through Millennial Thoughts. And then Black Girl Spin. She has that too. So different strokes for different folks. All of her social media information other than her podcast will also be included in the description. So run, don't walk.
Period.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode of the Relocate Podcast. And have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for listening.